All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna look into potentially splitting this hive. It's a very, very strong hive. As you can see, we got lots of bees just kind of gathered out front. I put this, so we've got a brood box, a deep brood box. We've got a deep super here, and then we've got another deep super here. You can't quite see it, but I have a queen excluder between these two supers. So the queen can get into this box. I'm gonna leave both of these boxes for the bees, so I will winterize them through the winter with these two boxes. And then anything above this, I've got the queen excluder, so anything above this will be honey. I put this honey super on here about 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited to see what they've done in 2 weeks as we get into here to see if there's any honey. But I wanna look and really consider possibly splitting this hive. And if I do, I'm gonna split them into a brand new brood box here. And probably what I'll be doing as we get into this, if I do a split, I'll be doing what's called a walk-away split. I will leave the queen in this box. I will put into this box some frames that have fresh eggs and larvae, and I'll put some bees in here with this, but I want to make sure the queen stays here. When I have this box with some larvae and some eggs in it, these bees will quickly recognize that they're queenless, that they don't have a queen, and what they'll do is they will create queen cells and grow a new queen. In about 6 weeks, we'll have a laying queen in this box. Now there is the potential that there's some queen cells in here, as big as they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they are planning to swarm. So we may see some queen cells in here already. And if we do, we want to make sure the queen is not on that frame. And we're going to put those frames with queen cells in this box, and we will have we'll have a jump start on that whole process. So we're going to jump in here. All the pine straw I could find on the ground was wet, so my smoker is going to go out easily on me today. I don't know if they've leave this on here. Yeah. So you can see already, even up top here, come on, smoker. Take this top super off. I'll pull out a frame just so you can see it. They've actually started drawing out the comb. See where they've already started drawing out the comb. They have a little bit of honey in there. They're definitely working hard on that. No honey yet really to speak of up here, but again, I've only just put this up here 2 weeks ago. I'll take this super off, and you'll see the queen excluder. So this is the queen excluder. The worker bees can crawl through this excluder, but the queen cannot. So anything above this is going to be honey. It won't be any kind of brood or eggs or anything like that. I'll take this off. Let some of these guys off here before pine straw was wet, so my smoker's trying to go out on me. Okay, we're going to take this clean excluder off. This is just one of the thin plastic ones. They make wooden framed metal ones. I think they all work equally good. Now as you look down here, now you can see we got lots of bees in here. Lots of foundation that's been built out. See how many bees you have along the edge there. When you have that population of bees on the outer frame, then you know you have a lot of bees. Now the queen could be in here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these frames up just enough to see if I can find the queen in there. I forgot my frame rack. I always seem to forget that. Okay. Give them a little smoke before I start pulling that frame out. These frames are pretty heavy at times. These little frame clamps are a really useful tool. Very well. Okay. Honey frame, for the most part. See, I tore into the honey a little bit on this side. Well, both sides. For the most part, this is a honey frame. I don't see any brood on either side. I do see some drone cells on this side, here in the corner. Those are where they're building cells for male drone bees. Put that right there. Come on, smoker. I may be doing this without a smoker today. We just had a rain all day yesterday and this morning. All the pine straw that we have out is wet. I had not laid any out to dry for this purpose. Let's see what we have here. Okay, again, we have more honey. There is some brood on this frame. All this right here is brood. The honey is the white capped cells, and then the more yellow type, or the either dark brown or light yellow, those are brood. Over here on the side, the bigger cells, again, those are drone cells. Since we're considering a split, I am looking for the queen. The queen in this box is a marked queen, so she should be pretty easy to spot. As soon as I say that, she won't show herself and it'll be difficult to find her. Got here. Mostly honey. You can see that it's capped on the top and uncapped honey on the bottom. Let's show this right here, Jacob. I'm oftentimes asked about drone bees. So these are normal worker bees, and this big one here is a drone bee. That's a male drone bee here at the end of my J-hook. And then your typical worker bees are much smaller nursing bees. There's a drone bee there. So you can see that the male drone bees are much bigger. They also don't have a stinger. A drone bee doesn't have a stinger, only the female worker bees. The queen bee doesn't have a stinger either. You can see the difference in a drone and a... So you can also see why they would need a bigger cell, like you have here. They need a bigger cell to hatch in. So again, just honey on both sides, a little bit of brood on this side. Got lots of big drone bees, which is good. It means it's good and healthy. Put that here. All right, with those three there, we've got enough room here now that we can just work inside the box. Keep these girls cooled down a little bit. Some smoke. I don't really want to do this without smoke, but if my smoker just won't cooperate, I guess I'll have to. Okay. Again, I got a good bit of honey on this side. We do have some brood over here on this side. Here in the middle. Got some nectar in the middle that will turn into capped honey, most likely. Here's our queen. I said our queen was marked. Our queen is right there. You can see the white dot. White dot is a 2021 queen. So now that I found her, I'm going to put her in a queen clip, just so that I know where she's at. So queen clip, I'm just simply going to clip her into that. Now she's in the queen clip. She can't get out. The other bees can, but she cannot. Just going to put her right there for now. Careful not to open it. So now I know my queen is safe. So now I can really consider making a split with these. And I know that I'll have my queen in the right box. Now that I know where she's at, I'm going to put this top super back together, because if I make a split, I'm going to make it with frames from this bottom super, this bottom brood box into this brood box. So now that I know where the queen is, I'm going to put this super back together, take it off, and then start to inspect the brood box in the bottom. I'm going to put this back together. Again, now that I know where the queen is, I don't have to inspect so well. I haven't seen any signs, and I inspected this hive just a week or so back. I haven't seen any signs of any kind of swarm cells or queen cells. So I'm a bit surprised by that, given that they're so populated. But I haven't seen any yet. Now this top super is full of honey, full of brood, as you saw in those frames. So it's going to be very heavy. I'm going to take this off and put it over here for now. Yeah, they've gotten upset with me. A little smoke. They got upset with me because I mashed one of them. So again, bees communicate with pheromones. So when one of them starts to get mashed, or when one of them stings, it sends off a pheromone that causes the others to want to attack. Now the key to smoke is they can't sense those pheromones very well in smoke. So that's why I'm smoking my hands and all to keep them from attacking me. Now, this super is going to be very heavy. I'm going to leave the queen in her clip right here on top for now. We'll let her loose back into this frame here in just a moment. This is going to be a really heavy super with all that honey built in it. And I want to make sure that I don't bring any of the frames from the brood box below up with it. Bees glue everything together with a product called propolis. And it could be that they have glued this. Yeah, see, there's a frame there that was glued to it. Okay, looks like I'm free. Propolis is what's gotten my gloves stuck to everything here. Okay, so I'm gonna lift this off now. Oh yeah, that is very heavy. That's my queen. Queen, and the rest of my hive is over there. Let's see what we can do to calm these guys down. Now I may get in here and decide that I don't want to split them at all, but if I can find some good frames with some good eggs, young eggs and larvae, then we can definitely do what I talked about, a walk-away split. So let's see what we can find here. I'm gonna leave that over there. Let's open this up. These frames are not likely to be quite as heavy. They're just going to primarily be brood. Maybe a little bit of honey, especially in these outer ones. But these are primarily going to be brood frames. Okay. So, you can see capped brood there. I don't know if I want to see if I can find. Okay, on this side there's not, as you can see, there's not a lot of capped brood. So in those, you may have a queen cell there. This cell here just might be a queen cell. I can't tell if it's a queen cell or a drone cell. We may put it in this split box just in case it is a queen cell. Oh, it's a queen cup, yeah. So it's a queen cup. As yet, they don't have any jelly in it, what's called royal jelly. But it's likely we're going to keep this one for the split box. I'll put it there for now. It's likely we're going to keep that one just because it already has a queen cup cell. I want to inspect these others to see if by chance they have any queen cells in them. The smoker is just not cooperating. All right, lots of good looking brood over here. Capped brood. You see right in here, you can see larvae. The white in the bottom of those cells, that's larvae. I'm hoping to find some fresh eggs, but I doubt I'll find them on this comb. These big drawn out pieces on the bottom, those are drone comb. Those are for male drone bees. Don't see any evidence of a queen cell there at all. I see some more larvae on this side, but not any eggs. We're looking for cells that have eggs in them because it's at that stage that the bees can decide they need to make those cells with eggs into queen cells. If they're already larvae, then it's already been decided that those are worker bees. Once they get to the larva stage, it's already been decided those are worker bees. And the lack of sunshine here is going to make this difficult to find. An egg looks like a very small grain of sand in the bottom of these cells. Don't see any there. Again, I see lots of larvae. You can see the white larvae in those cells are not capped. Guess what I got up my leg. Yep, okay. Okay. No, I can't quite see them here. Those are larvae. I thought I had maybe some eggs there. I had one crawl up my pants got me on the leg. The worst part of a honeybee sting is the itch the next day, not the actual sting itself. Okay, lots of nice dark brood here, uncapped. I don't see any eggs in those. I may be overlooking eggs just because it's not a very sunny day right now. It also may be that the queen has spent the last few days in that super. So all the fresh eggs may be in the upper super, not down here in this lower brood box. And if that's the case, we won't do a split today. If we can't find any eggs in these frames, then we won't do a split today. We'll do a different type of split on another day. Okay, yeah, I'm still not seeing. Yeah, that's a nice frame. All of that is larva though. Nice frame of brood, but everything in the bottom has already turned to larva stage, which means it's been a few days since she's been on these frames. So probably all the eggs, the fresh eggs that we could use for a split, are probably in that top super over there. So it's not looking like we'll do a split today, but it was a good inspection of this hive. And we did find the queen. We do know that she's doing well. And the hive is really healthy. Another good frame of capped brood here. Got some up here in the top corner. That's bee bread. No, the bottom of the frame corner down. This here is bee bread. You can see kind of the different colors in those frames or in those cells. That's bee bread. They will use that to feed on. It's not doing any good anymore. All right, 2 more frames. We're going to check those out, and then I think we're going to put this back together as is. At this point, all I'm looking for is to make sure we don't have any queen cells being built out for the purpose of swarming. Now there's some fresh brood on this side. You can see the nice solid pattern. That's pretty fresh brood. This is on an outside frame, so she probably covered these outside frames last week with eggs and then moved up into that top super, and that's where the fresh eggs are today. So no split today. I'm going to take this last frame out just for the purpose of seeing if we got any kind of queen cells there. Only that one cell that I saw on that frame there looks suspiciously like a queen cell, so we'll tear that one up just to make sure that they don't turn it into a queen cell, because I don't want them to split. Now there may be a queen cell on that one. See that cell at the bottom? That might be a queen cell there. So we'll take that one off. Could also be a drone cell. Lots of good looking honey on this side, which would be expected on the outer frame. I'm going to set this up there and take that cell there off, just because I don't want them to create a queen cell and split on me. And then I'm going to put this back together. I think I've told you before, I use spacers in here that makes these 9-frame super brood boxes. I really like those spacers because it makes it easy to work. Your frames don't get stuck together as much. That's especially important when you're out here working without a smoker. They start to get riled up on you. You want to be able to move these things without bumping and knocking the frames around. Okay. So now we'll put these frames back in. No trouble doing it with gloves on. All right. This one had a cell that I was a little worried about, so I'm going to cut that cell off. Okay. Put this back. Okay. Now this is where not having a smoker really hurts, because as you can see, I mean, we got lots of bees around the edge, and when I put that super back on here, it's going to squish any of these bees that are right on the edge. So I'm going to take any smoke I can get out of this and kind of get them off the edge best I can. I don't want to kill any. If that's not an option, I always have my bee brush, and I can just kind of brush them off. So what I'll do is I'll brush them off there and then come back and set them there. Remember, we have our queen and our queen clip here. I'm going to set her there for now. Okay. Brush those off the front there so that you don't kill them. Now, as I set it down, I can kind of brush them off around the edges. I think my cameraman might have got one. I did get a couple of them in there, as you can see. Okay. We're going to take our queen and brush off so I can see her. There's other bees in there with her. As you can see her in there, she's the marked one. And I'm just going to open it up, and we'll just kind of watch her walk back down in there. There she went. Okay. Queen's back in the box. We'll put our queen excluder back on there. We'll put that honey super back. We'll put the honey super back on top here. Inner cover back in place. And our outer cover. Now, again, we didn't end up doing a split today, and that's because I couldn't find any fresh eggs in the bottom in the brood box. Because I'm moving them to another brood box, I wanted to find fresh eggs in that brood box. Because if you put a frame in here that's fresh eggs, and this hive realizes they're without a queen, they'll use one of those cells and one of those fresh eggs, and they'll turn that into a queen cell. And they'll do that with multiple queen cells inside this. But because I couldn't find any eggs here, I'm pretty confident all the fresh eggs are up here. So we'll let her fill out the top with fresh eggs, and then she'll move back down here, start filling out fresh eggs down here again. And then when we catch that, then we can make our split. Also, the good news is I didn't see a lot of evidence that they're building queen cells for the purpose of swarming. So even though they're highly populated, very crowded in there, they're not showing signs of swarming just yet. Not a lot of signs anyway. So I figure we have at least another 2 weeks. I'll keep an eye on them. We'll come back about 2 weeks, see if we have any fresh eggs down here. And if we do, at that point, we can split them.